Welcome back to Code with Josh. It's me.
Hello? What was that? That was Murf API. And in today's video, we're going to be building out a Flet application and integrating Murf API to allow our app to take text, convert it into speech, all with AI.
This was all made possible by Murf.
That's right. Thank you guys. Not only are they giving us 100,000 free characters, but their API is over 99% accurate. And it supports something called multi-native. That means a voice can speak multiple languages. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back, guys, for another episode of Code with Josh. For obvious reasons, I'm Josh, and I'm stoked to have you guys here. Before I dive into this really cool video today, help me out. Hit that like button and subscribe. That really does help out my channel gain a wider audience within this crazy YouTube algorithm. Now, today's video is a lot of fun. You're going to learn how to build out a Flet application using the Flet framework. No HTML, no CSS, no JavaScript. Pure Python. And in this really cool app, we're going to be using a brand new AI software called Murf AI. This allows you to take text and generate a voice out of this using this wide range of voices they have. We can do everything from give it text, change the moods of how they sound, change the pitch. You name it, we can do it. And we're building it here in this application. Guys, I should take a moment to say thank you, Murf AI, for sponsoring today's video. I actually had a blast putting this together, and you guys are going to get using it absolutely free right now today. Before I dive into the video, guys, okay, the links in the description, they are dedicated to you guys and helping you out in your Python journey. Wherever you may be, I have stuff there to help you grow. Head on down to the links, check those out. But now, while you're all here, let's build an AI application using Murf AI and Flet. Into the video.
All right, guys, here we are. This is the most excited I've been for an app in a while. Not only do we get to use a really cool AI speech software, but we also get to build the app out using the Flet framework, a really useful framework where we don't need HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. So I'm going to kick things off here. Now, we're building out an AI speech app where we can input a language and we can actually choose the voice we want to use and change the tone of their voice, which is really unique. And with 99% accuracy and higher in the AI speech, this makes this a really powerful combination. So to kick things off, I'm going to import Flet as FT. Now, you need a few things here, so I might as well fire up my terminal since we're here. Now, I'm building this app out in Flet, so if you don't already have it, you're going to have to pip install Flet. And we're also using an AI technology called Murf AI, so I'm going to install Murf as well if you don't already have this. Okay, this is what's going to allow us to use this AI technology, Murf AI. I'm going to close that down. I already have those. And we can carry out our import. So I've imported Flet. We're going to need requests. We need OS, because we're going to be working with files here. I'm going to say from Murf, import Murf. They have a class built around that. And then I already have it. I'm going to say from API key, import the API key. Now, this is my Murf API key. You're not going to get it, but it's absolutely free. Okay, if you guys head on over to Google, type in murf.ai, and you're going to be taken to this landing page. You can just click Get API Key, but they've made this really useful where we get a lot for actually free, right? And this is what we're going to be using to build this out. So come over to Murf, sign up for an API account, and I'm going to guide you guys through how you can implement and use this technology right now. Once you have that API key, okay, I'm going to click on API docs. You guys should be reading through this because let's face it, reading documentation is so key to further your own understanding. The really cool tool we're going to be using is text to speech. This takes you through a quick start guide, but it's really going to show you how you can create a client, give it text, choose a voice, and then return that voice. Okay, so that's what we're really going to be doing here. Now, first things first, I want to set up the API and I want to see all the voices and the narrations that we have actually access to. So I'm going to close this down. I've imported what I need. I'm going to create my client. Let's say client is equal to the Murf class. I'm going to give it my API key. Okay, you should have your own API key here. This is just mine. Now, to play around with the voices, let's say for every voice in all the voices, okay? Now, I don't have voices yet. We need to make voices. I'm going to say voices is equal to client dot text to speech. This is all coming from Murf now. Okay, I'm going to say get voices. And this is going to return all the voice. Now, in order to really make a voice, we want to have a few things here. So the AI needs what's called a voice ID, and this can be found in the documentation. But I just want to print off everything that I'm going to need. I'm going to need a name of the AI. And the really cool thing about this, guys, is any AI voice you make, you actually have rights to it. So it's yours to use, and it's completely yours. So I want the voice ID, name, and the moods. If I just come here, I'm going to take the voice, and we're just going to say voice ID. For name, we're going to say voice.display name. Nope. I think I want to use display name here. And then moods, I'm just going to say available styles. Let's run that and look at all the different voices they have for us to use. Now, this is really cool because it's not only English. You can choose your native language because they support so many different languages here. So it outputs all this stuff here. Now, look at this. So, holy barnacles. I could scroll up and we could just look here. We have voice ID. This ID, the API needs to actually connect to the right voice. We have the name of that voice and we have the moods. So, for example, Heidi only has the conversational mood. But if I go up here to Terrell, he has inspirational tone, narration tone, calm tone, promo tone. Think of all that you could actually do with this. This is really, really cool. Now, they give us all this. I want you guys to choose a few. I'm just gonna choose a few here. So I'm gonna create the voice settings for what I'm gonna be using here. So I'll be like voice moods. This will be set initially to a dictionary. So really, if I find someone, let's say, oh geez, I don't even know. There's a lot of names here to choose from. We have Hazel, Cooper. Who do I want? Let's say Miles. Okay, I want Miles. So I'm gonna take his name here. I'm gonna say Miles. The value to him will be another dictionary because I need a few things from Miles. One, we need his voice ID. So I'm actually just going to take the ID they've given me. Where's Miles? English US Miles. Okay, I'm going to paste that here to come back to. And then he and anyone else we use is actually going to have a bunch of moods. So really, I'm just going to copy this list of moods. He has pirate. That's so cool. And drop that in there. Okay, so that's my first person. I want to have a few different people. So in the next one, let's come down here. Let's find someone else. Let's use this. I have Shane. Okay, so I'm going to use Shane. He's Australian, it looks like, which is going to be a cool one. We can test that up. We want to get his voice ID. So I'm actually just going to copy what I have here for Miles. Except the voice ID for Shane needs to match. We can use that later. But well, Shane has two. I'm gonna use him still. I want to hear what this sounds like. Okay, so we're gonna drop in conversational and narration. Now I have Miles. I have Shane. Let's find one more with a lot of them. So oh, here we go. Natalie has a lot. I'm gonna copy Shane. Bring that down. Let's use Natalie. This is gonna be a good one. Okay, so let's get a female voice in here. English, Natalie. So you guys can choose and just replace like that map that I'm making here. But the more options we have, the more fun it's going to be used to use Murf AI. Let me copy this. Where was that? Paste this. What's going on there? Natalie, I must have copied too much of Michelle. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to close that. You guys can experiment with that, but these are going to be the voices that we're going to build out in this application. Okay, now how do we build a Flet application? Flet is really useful, it's really intuitive. These voice moods are done for now. Let's start building out the interface of our application. How Flet works is we define a function called main, and main takes a page. This is really the home page. So I'm going to say ft.page. This class comes from Flet. Everything is built out from that. So if we come over here, so I'm on Murf, they have their SDK pack. I'm going to come here, let's just say Flet docs. And we're going to go in here to like introduction. You guys read through the documentation, okay? They have a cookbook in here and they have getting started. The cookbook's really useful. That kind of explains how we can do different things. It tells you how to get started. Let's just say create a new Flet app. It shows you the initial setup running a Flet app. Okay, but really the moral of this, there's really no moral. When we're creating an app, everything comes from page. This is what you as the user will see. Now that I've named it page, I could give the page like a title. What should we name this? Let's call it like AI Friend Zone. I don't know, it's kind of funny. Let's say page. You could give the page a padding, right? Now I'm just using like CSS stylings here. You could tap in here and say BG color. This takes a color. I could give it a hex. Let's give it a dark color here. 1E, 1E, 2F. I already have some colors saved from playing around with this. And this is the initial setting for the application, okay? If we wanted to run this right now, we're not really going to see very much, but let's just say if name is equal to main. All that we're going to do is down here, I'm going to run, and we're going to say here ft app. The target is our main function. So I'm going to say main. You can give that a quick run. Let's see if it catches up with me.
If you guys are getting value in today's video, help me out. Hit that like button and subscribe. That really helps out my channel. Back to it.
Boom. This is really all you should see. A blank page. This is your canvas. Okay, this represents the main function, the page right here. Now I have all this gibberish. I'm actually going to turn off that because every time I run it, I don't necessarily want to see that. Okay, so we have the main page ready to go. Next up in the app, we would like create the UI widgets. What do you want to see in this application? So I know that I'm going to have a title. I'm going to have an area that I can input text. We're going to have a drop-down box where we can choose the AI voice from Murf. And every AI voice, I want to have some kind of mood selection. And then we could say enter button. Okay, so this is just how I'm structuring the AI or our application. The title, to create text in Flet, all we need to do is use their built-in text class and give it any arguments we want to, any keyword arguments. So what's the name of the app? Well, it's AI Friend Zone. Okay. What is the size of the font? You can put a size here. You can put even a weight, right? What weight? We're going to say FT, where is it? Font weight. Let's say here bold. Okay. And then let's give this a really cool theme. I was playing around. Let's do like, I'm going to do like glowing yellow neon. It'll look really cool once it runs. This needs to be a string actually. Okay, so that would be text added. Now if you run it, it's not going to appear yet because we haven't added text to the container itself. Let's just get these styled how we want to. So our text input, this is going to be a text field. Where's text field? There we go. And there's going to be a lot of things here. So for example, label. What do you want the user to see to help them? So I could be like, enter some text here. This is going to appear in the application to help guide the user. What's the width of the box? We could give it a background color. And for this, I guess we can do a slightly brighter color. Let's do like 2A, 2A, 3B. Yeah, okay. These two are both dark. Okay, so we're giving a background color. We could give the text the color, right? Because if it's really dark, then really we want to see some kind of light color. So I'll do white. And I do not like sharp edges. So border radius is going to help curve the edges of that box. Now, guys, notice, right, border color. Let's give a border color. Let's use this color again. Let's keep it like pretty standard for good styling. I have 2 items here, okay? But note that these items are nowhere to be found in the application. So if you run it, you're not really seeing anything. We want to build a UI container. This container is going to hold everything that we create and return it back to the page. This is an important part of Flet. So I could come here and I'm going to say like container. Let's just call it container. I can say FT, they have a class called container, okay? Inside there, we need to give the content of the container. Is it a row or is it a column? I want this to be a column. So I'm gonna create a column. And inside the column, how do we want things stacked? That's known as our controls. This is going to be a list. So really at the top, I want to see the text. Then I want to see the text input. All right, what have we made here? I just made 2 things. Text, title. I didn't even make text. I have title. Okay, so I'm going to say title, text input for now. Let's just kind of leave that be, and I'll circle back in here a moment. Okay, we could have some spacing, and let's give it some alignment. It's always good to have alignment here. I'm going to say main axis alignment. I want everything to be in the center. Okay, now outside the column, right, because I just styled the column, we could even give the container styling. Let's say like padding is 20. Let's give it a border radius of 20. Let's give it a background color. Let's do something dark here. Let's do again 2A, 2A, 3B. Let's see what color. That should be the dark one. Yep, okay. We could give it a box shadow. If you guys have ever worked with CSS, Flet's great because notice a lot of the similarities we have here in CSS. That I'm still using. I'm using a shadow. That's just like your box shadow. We're using colors to style. We're using alignment and spacing to style. Okay, so it's all very similar. Let's say color is equal. Oh wait. I'm outside. This needs to be color. Color. Let's go up here. Let's take this yellow. Cool. So ideally, guys, now this is completed, okay, this container. Let's do this. Let's call this input container. For now, let's just give it text input. Let's focus on segregating different components of the application. So I have an input container. Let's say take our page. This is the entire app, and I want to add a new column. Okay, so I'm going to say FT column. Okay, there we go. Inside here, what do I want in the column? We're going to give it controls. Let's put our title here, and then let's give it the input container. You can give it some spacing if you want, and maybe we can give it some horizontal alignment. Let's just say cross axis alignment, center. Now, this is very important. When you're done with your Flet app, you need to take the page, any changes, and update it, or you won't see anything. Now run the application. What do you see? Pretty cool. Okay, so this is kind of how it's going to be structured. My styling's pretty cool, actually. Hello. Oh, I don't actually see the text that I type, so I'm going to tweak that a little bit here. Okay, but let's add the other items under this, right? So you can see, guys, that we have a final column that takes the title up top and then a container. This input container is sort of what's holding everything together now, right? So going up here, let's do our voice selection. For our voice selection, I'm going to say this is a drop-down box. Okay, so in the drop-down, what do you want it to say? Let's say like voice or choose voice. Okay, we can give it some options now. So I'm going to say options is equal to a list. FT drop down option, where is it? Oh, I should be lowercase, excuse me, because that is the module, I think. Drop down. There we go. Option. Okay. I want to give it a voice. For every voice we made a dictionary earlier, voicemoods.keys. The keys are the voices, right? Is it Miles? Is it Shane? Or is it Natalie? Okay. We're going to give this a width, and we can, again, let's just put 350. Let's try and keep our app looking good. BG color, we are going to say here, let's do 2A, 2A, 3B. And the color of that, this is the text color. I'm not actually sure. The first time, let's try this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This should also work. Maybe I need 6 for each. Okay, we're about to find out. In the initial starting value, let's just say it starts on Miles. Okay, so to test this, go down here, text input, we're going to say voice selection. Okay, save it, run it. We should now see a populated box containing all the information we need for dropdown. Look at that. Perfect. And that was the issue. Okay, so let's change that to 6. Pretty cool, right? So now I'm using the Murf AI voices here. So to really get this going now, I guess we're going to do 2 things. I need a mood selection that we got from the AI client. This is going to be another dropdown. Okay, inside here, let's just say label is equal to choose mood. How do you want the AI to sound when we run it? The width can stay at 350. BG, let's just take these 2. They're going to be the same. BG color and text color. Okay, now there are a lot of moods, and notice, guys, that when we got these moods, they returned them in a list. So I need to iterate through the list and then populate the drop-down box. My thinking for this is I can't quite do that anymore. So I'm going to actually, let's make a function down here. Yes, this is a function in a function. That's how Flet works. Main is the main function. So everything is really housed in this main function. I'm going to create def, and we are going to say update moods. This is going to take an event, but initially the event is none. So let's say selected moods, or I guess it's based on the voice, right? Selected voice is equal to voice selection. Let's get the current value. So remember, initially it's just Miles. That's the key in our dictionary. So whoever we choose, let's get the value of that. Okay. We are going to take our mood selection and we're going to say options is equal to a list. This is our drop-down option again. So I'm going to say option. Okay. And inside there, let's give it a mood. For every mood in voice moods dot get, we want to get the selected voice, give it a dictionary here, and we also want to get inside the selected voice the key moods. The key holds an inner list. We're going to take our mood selection, which I just made there. Let's get the value, and we're going to say, hey, the value of mood selection is now just the first item in the list that we got back. So options 0, okay? And let's get the text value. And make sure, guys, that if our mood selections has an option, because if there's no option, then we have to give back none. What do we do anytime we adjust a Flet application? We're going to say page update. Pretty sweet. Outside the function, let's just say voice selection dot on change. This is built into Flet. This is going to be equal to our function update moods. And then we're going to call update moods. Cool. Everything's linked. Let's run it. Let's make sure that those languages match up before I just jump right into the AI here. Okay, so our app is running. There we go. Miles. Oh, what did I forget? Silly me. Down in our input container, we need to give it the mood selection mood. There we go. Now run it. See, it's good to run your code often. There we go. Look at that. So I have Miles, Miles, Shane. Okay, so I'm not getting anything here. That's a slight issue. That's a big issue, actually. So I need to figure out why. Definitely not coming from here. Update moods. Let's see what the issue is. Okay, based on this function, okay. There's a comma. That comma might have just done it, actually. Boom. Okay. I had a comma in there. This is what I was looking for, right? I could select the people. You can see that they're changing, right? This is great, okay? Really, the last part of this is I want to add a pitch where I can change the AI voice's pitch. That is one of the Murf AI settings. At this time, right, once again, I should probably take a moment to say, hey, thank you, Murf AI, for sponsoring today's video. I had a lot of fun. This is a really, really cool tool. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to say voice speed is equal to ft.slider. Inside slider, how Murf AI works is it can go to a -50 pitch or a +50. Let's just put like -30 as the minimum. So minimum is -30, maximum is 30. The value is going to start at 0. That's just normal. In the divisions, the slider can move, will be 10. And let's even give it a label. Let's say this is a label. And inside here, we can say value. And this will just be like a percentage for us. And then the active, there we go. Active color is going to be, what is that yellow we've been using? Cool. Let's take this yellow. Okay. So that is my voice slider. Looks like I'm getting a comma there because that minus sign. Okay, this is cool. And then really our last item in play here is going to be this button. So let's just say button enter is going to be equal to an elevated, where is it? Elevated button. Inside here, let's say generate voice. When I click this, the AI is going to do its job for us. We're going to give this a BG color of that yellow again. And let's give it like a text color. Let's say, I think I used earlier 1E, 1E, 2F. Yeah, I mean, I used that color. And we're going to give it a style. So I'm going to say style. We can use the Flet class button style. And inside here, let's just give a shape to the button. I think we can say like rounded rectangle border. That's good. And then we can give a radius of 15. Okay, cool. So down here now, okay, in my input and page, I've added 2 more things. Let me continue to add here. So I'm going to say, I'm just going to throw text in here. I don't have it yet. Let's just call this adjust pitch. And let's just give this a size to like tell the user what the bar even does. Because if you don't know what it's doing, that might be a bit confusing. Font weight, bold. We can give this a color again. There we go. Okay, so we have that. Then we made a slider. What did I call the slider? What did we call the slider, Josh? Voice speed. It really should be called voice pitch because I didn't do a speed. Voice speed and then button enter. Okay, sweet. I'm going to run that just to make sure my UI is how we want it to be. Right, this is roughly okay. Init mix. Okay, so, I should have ran the terminal and actually left that open. Let's see if that works again. Well, it's not going to work, but I want to see the error. Okay, so we got that error. Slider got, I probably said mix instead of like max. Min. Of course there's no mix. What are you trying to mix? That's crazy sauce. Okay. There we go. This is the app. This is what I want it to look like. Okay, so I can choose the mood, I can adjust the pitch, and when we click, AI is going to generate, specifically Murf. Now, how do we use Murf? It's now actually time to generate the audio. Okay, so this is really cool. Now once again, guys, you can head over to the AI I'm already on Murf, and you can see it's trying to log me into my account. Okay, and the documentation's here. This is just like my playground I was playing around in. This is really cool. So really, if you go back to the documentation, in fact, let's just go Murf AI docs, okay, because that took me right to the dashboard. API docs is what we're after. Okay, this is really where their documentation is going to help you out because we're going to implement this stuff into our code. And instead of giving a hard-coded text value, we're going to use the Flet widgets to substitute that. So let's go, I guess we'll go before the enter button. Let's start to do like generate AI voice. So I'm gonna create a function. Let's call this generate audio. This is gonna create us an audio. Now, inside here, we want to get the voice that we want. So who did you choose? Miles, Shane, or Natalie? So I'm going to say selected voice is equal to voice selection.value. That's going to first capture. Now, from who we selected, the AI needs the voice ID associated with this. All we have to do for this is I'm going to create a variable called voice ID is going to be equal to our dictionary, voice moods. Let's get the selected voice, okay? And we want to get specifically inside of that, we want to get the voice ID. This is the key. So now we have the correct voice ID. If not, let's take our text input and I'm going to make sure that there's a value when we strip away everything. So if there's no text, I'm just going to say error. You need some text, ... And we can just return none. So return none. Okay. But let's pretend we have text because we should have text. We want to try to do something. I want to try and create a response from Murf AI. So I'm going to take our client, which we made at the beginning, and we're going to use the Murf text-to-speech, and we're going to generate some text. I can give it a bunch of things here. Okay, I can give it the format. You can export audio here in a lot of different formats, which is really cool. I'm going to say the AI is going to make me an MP3. I'm going to give this a sample rate. Now, I could go higher here. I can say like 48,000. This is just good, I believe, for clearer, crisper audio. And the channel, since we're not doing like a podcast, this works for podcasts, and it's just one person speaking, I'm going to do stereo. I think there's stereo and there's mono. I can use both of those. Now, what do we want the AI to even say to us? Well, let's capture the value that's in the text input we typed. That's step one. Now, who is going to be saying it? So voice ID is going to be equal to the voice ID that we just captured right here. Okay, that is the voice ID. The style, how do they sound? Well, remember, in the dropdown, we could choose their mood. So I'm going to say mood selection. Let's get the value that's currently present. And then finally, pitch. The pitch is from the voice speed, the slider that I made. I can get the value. Okay, so this is going to use the AI, and Murf is going to use it and give us back the audio that we type. Right? So down here, let's just return the response as an audio file. Audio file, where is it? Okay. And let's make sure that it has the attribute. So I'm going to say has the attribute. Make sure the response gives us back the audio file attribute. Else, we're just going to say none. Okay. We can say except, exception as E. We're going to print off here. Let's just say error. Why did we get the error? And then return none. Cool. The function's done. Okay. Now, I want it to play the audio. Okay. I don't just want to do that. I want to actually hear the audio it generates. So you could do this, and it's going to give you a link. And you can actually open the link and then use the AI, but I want the Flet application to actually play it for me. So I'm going to say save and play audio. That's a long function name. Let's just call it save and play. Okay, so I'm going to save and play. This is going to take some kind of event. When we click the button, the generate button, this is going to call this function. So we're going to create an audio URL, and we're going to call the generate audio function that we just made. Remember that generate audio returns the AI audio file. So this is really that. This is going to be a URL to the audio file. If not audio URL, what do you want to do? Well, you're going to print off error, I don't know, no audio found, ... and just get out. I'm just going to return. Okay, so that's a great way to handle those bugs, those errors. So we don't have that. We're going to try now. Let's try and get a response. So our response, we're going to say requests.get. Let's give it the audio URL, and we want to stream it. I'm going to say stream is true. If the response status code, so it's going to give you back a status code, and it should be 200, right? That's a success. If the status code is 200, we are going to create a path to the AI audio file. So OS path, let's get the absolute path, and we are just going to call this audio.mp3. Okay. With open, we're going to give open a file path, and we want to write inside as a file. Okay. For every chunk, for every chunk in my response, so for every piece in my response, we want to iterate through the content, and we're going to say the chunk size is going to be 1024, right? 1024 megabytes, kilobytes, you name it. Okay. And we're going to take the file, and we want to write the chunk inside. Okay. So this is me trying to create my audio file. I think we're looking good. I'm just going to come here, and I'm just going to say audio saved as audio URL. No, can't say that. That won't give me anything. File path. There we go. Okay. Once we're done, okay, I am going to say here, let's take our page, let's take the overlay, and I just want to update everything to get it ready to play this audio. So I'm going to say clear. We're going to take the page, we're going to say overlay, we're going to append. What do I want to append? An audio source. Okay, so I actually want this to play. This takes a source. The source is going to be our audio MP3 file, which we just made and generated. And I want it to autoplay. So I'm going to say autoplay is set to true. Remember, the very last thing that we have to do here, wait, I messed up. This should be 2 brackets, is anytime we make changes on a Flet app, you need to update the application. So I'm saying update. I'm just going to throw an else here, and I'm just going to say failed to get audio. Let's just say failed to get audio. Try, let's give an exception, exception as E, and we're just going to say error E. Well, guys, that's the application. I guess the only real thing we need here now is in the button, I'm going to say on click, I want to save, I want to call the function, save and play. And I think the last thing that I want to do is my audio needs access to my directory. So I'm going to say asset dir and just give it here so it can access that. Let's see, let me make sure. Okay, we're going to run this. We're going to test it. Turn your volume up, right? What do you want to hear? Natalie is going to tell you to like and subscribe to Code with Josh. If you guys got value from today's video, which I hope you did, Natalie will tell you one more time, hit that button.
Like and subscribe to Code with Josh.
Whoa, that was great. Thank you, Natalie, of course. If we switch it up to a sports commentary, drop the pitch down for Miles. Let's see what he has to say.
Like and subscribe to Code with Josh.
That's amazing, guys. That's what Murf AI can do for you guys to spice up your code and have a lot of fun with these AI tools.
And there you guys have a new AI generation tool using Flet in Murf AI. It allows you to not only input text, we can change the moods, change the pitch, and take that text and generate spoken words using a really cool AI technology. You got to learn Murf. Head on over to their platform, get your free API key, check it out, start using it right now. And I also introduced the Flet framework. If you're new to Flet, you got to see how to build and how an app is actually structured. So I genuinely hope you guys got value from today's video. If you did, drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Was this a cool video? Do you want to see more like it? Let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe. Why? Josh, that's me. That helps out my channel. So come on. What are you doing? Remember, guys, the links in the description, they are dedicated to you guys and helping you grow. The first link is my Python masterclass. The other links down there, I have my ebooks and my weekly Python newsletter, all dedicated to you guys, my viewers, my readers. Head on down, check them out. That's enough for this week's episode of Code with Josh. Until next time, guys, I will see you then.